Okay, well, we'll go ahead and officially start the meeting here because it's 3 minutes after. I haven't talked to Sita at all for a while, so I don't know what's going on with her and Ron. He's okay. So I will officially call the meeting to order. My name is Linda Locke, the president, and Kai sent out minutes. So if everybody received them, I noticed a couple of errors, but Kai says he's going to look into those. So I really think these are the October minutes, because even the treasurer's report says the ending balance of October 31st. So somehow the November ones are lost. So we'll do them another time. Okay, so we've already done October, I think. All right, Susan, treasurer's report.
Hi, everyone. I have the treasurer's report for the month of November 2021. So our beginning balance on November 1st was $3,457.88. We had no income. We did have one expense, a Zoom meeting fees for May 20th, 2021 through November 18th of 2021. That was a total of $120.10. So the ending balance on November 30th, 2021 was $3,337.78. Then we have the City of San Jose District 4 grant. The beginning balance November 1st, 2021 was $10,000. We have no expenses, no income on that. And the ending balance on November 30th, 2021 is $10,000. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? You want to talk about grant that we just wrote?
Oh, yes. So we received word, maybe it was, I don't know which day, the last couple of days, sorry, that we received approval for the Beautify San Jose grant cycle 4 in the amount of $5,000. And so we should be receiving that check maybe around January, and then we'll take off on our next project of the pond restoration.
No, probably take $1 million to get that part fixed, but anyway, it'll be a start. Okay, thank you. So that's really cool. So we have technically right now 15,000. Well, when the money comes in, it'll be $15,000 toward the park restoration. So that'll be good. Okay. And let me see. I'm going to do the election of officers right now. So we'll see what happens. Are there any nominations from the floor? I have to ask if anybody would like to run for an office, any office that your little heart desires, including president. Hearing none, I'm going to tell you that all of the current officers have agreed to run and hold office as where they are right now. So we've been short one at-large person all this year, and we have somebody that agreed or volunteered to be on the board, BCAC board, and her name is Janet Jarin. So we will be voting on those. Vishnu's going to stay on, maybe forever, but right now he's agreed to stay on again, so that's good. And Eric's still going to be our outreach coordinator. So hearing no other, unless there's some discussion about the slate, I will entertain a motion.
Motion by Santos to support that.
All right. Is there a second?
I move that we vote by acclamation.
By commission? What does that mean?
Acclimate.
Oh, acclamation. Okay. I thought I learned a new word. Okay. Okay, cool. Very nice. So we're all ready to go. Let me see. And okay. Police report, Captain Todd Trayer, you are up, sir.
Well, thank you. Great to see you all. Let me move this over here so I'm not looking the other way. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and are looking forward to a break up ahead. It's been busy, as I kind of always start by saying, but I can tell you it's been very successful from the police department's point of view on a few things. There was actually a lot of thwarted sideshow activity in your area, especially at Berryessa and Capitol. We got word that they were going to happen 2 different days, and I was even out there during that time with the officers, and we had our lights on, a full complement of officers, and we did keep the sideshow from happening in San Jose. So especially in your area, which is great, because I know you guys would beat me up if I let that go. Right? So
we know where you were.
Proud of the officers. They did a great job and kept things going. We have kept the walking beat at Berryessa and Capitol. I see a big difference. I see a difference in the type of priority calls. We don't get these big priority 1 robberies in that area like we were talking about a few months ago. So I do attribute it to having some police presence. It's got to make some impact. You've all heard about the smash and grabs that have been happening all over our city. It's a big part of my life. In fact, we had something happen today, but not in your part of the area, kind of near in the Santana Row area. So just know that we are working very hard. We have arrested people. But it's tricky. You know, these people that are running into these businesses are stealing jewelry from jewelry stores, those type of things, and they just don't care. So we continually are working with many surrounding areas, agencies, and working to take those people into custody. The catalytic converter, I don't know if you saw it on the news today, but I am beyond proud of our burglary and burglary prevention teams that did a huge takedown of 15 people. They arrested them for the catalytic converter thefts, a lot of them in San Jose. I was reading, I think they said in 2020, there were 724 in San Jose that were stolen. And then in 2021, the first 10 months, it was over 1,087 or something like that. So that, you know, we've talked about it many times at the meeting, but I'm just proud of them. And I can't give enough hats off to that whole team. I know how hard we've been talking and working on that for months. So I'm glad to see it finally came out with the work they've been doing. There's been a couple burglaries, regular burglaries, not catalytic converter, but regular burglaries in the area. There's a street called Helmsley. If you don't know where that is, it's kind of near Berryessa, kind of south of Berryessa. And I see 2 different burglaries. One was an attempted burglary where a guy came in through that little bathroom window. And this was on November 17th, and then was scared away because someone was there. That was on a Wednesday morning. So that was on the 17th. And then, I'm kind of going backwards. On the 8th of November on the same street, but a block down, there was a burglary. I don't know if they're related. They haven't connected the dots on those 2 yet, but I bring that up because those are residential burglaries, which I haven't been talking about for a long time. And now, you know, we have to be aware of our neighbors and calling in. I don't see any suspicious calls on that street. So perhaps the person was, you know, eluding detection at early morning times when they know that somebody's going to work. Keep your doors locked, keep your garages locked. If you have an alarm, keep it on. And of course, check your cameras and see if they're working. That's the racer thing we talked about. And I think that is pretty much the big news from me for the Berryessa area. Anything sticking out to you guys? I did run all the traffic stuff. There was a traffic enforcement day where they went out for 2 days and did enforcement. They wrote 15 citations, and most of the stops they did were warnings, but they did write a lot of citations off of Berryessa, mostly on Berryessa area enforcement.
Hi, could I just add to your Helmsley Drive report?
Please, yes.
We live at the end of the street, and back in July, the end of July, we were burglarized. A little bit of a scary thing. My wife and I went out for our daily walk, came back into the house, turned off our security system, and I became aware there was somebody in the bedroom. And I took a look, and the sliding door out to our patio, the glass door, had been completely smashed out. And I was just sort of standing there, kind of where the hallway joins the kitchen, and this guy came running past me, gave me a shove, disappeared out through the hole in the door with, he didn't get a heck of a lot of stuff. I think he got kind of disturbed, but he did get some things. But the main, we did revise our security system to put in glass break sensors. And I put a big sign on our back window. We now have glass break sensors just in case this guy or one of his cohorts are wandering around. But boy, that's definitely, yeah, came over the back fence, I guess, either from the park. Our house has the Summerdale School at the back, and the park just east of us. One of those fences he came over. So, wow, it's a scary business when it happens.
Yeah.
First time in 45 years that we had anything happen.
But the police were very helpful.
Yeah,
They came right away and they helped us. And so we were very grateful for that.
we actually had 4 officers here at one point. So,
They know not to mess around in my Berryessa neighborhood, right? But
That's right.
Mr. Fitch, I'm sorry that happened to you, because I've been a victim of burglary and theft like that before, and this it just feels like a total violation. So I don't know any other better way to say it, but I'm sorry that happened. And it's weird with this job, like 6 months down the road, some officer pulls over a car in the area and then finds your PG&E bill in the guy's car, and then they're able to put 2 and 2 together. I believe in fate because I've seen it happen, but sometimes these things all tie together and sometimes they don't. But I'm glad you had a good result from the police department, and you bring up a great point. Just checking our security systems again. I have like a wired security cameras at my house. It's a big joke at work. Everybody says I have like a fortress at my house. I have everything, right? I always feel like everybody wants to kill me though. But I recently upgraded my cameras to just something I felt more comfortable with, and I have more access to it with my phone and everything. And that was something, that used to be a $1,500 expense, and now it was maybe $350, right? For great cameras that work well, and they can do a lot more than they used to be able to do. So if there's anything I can ever help you with, I'm not allowed to say like company names or anything like that, but I would do anything to help any of you if you need some type of assessment or that type of thing.
Oh, that's good to know. Good to know. Any other questions? Well, we're very proud of you getting those catalytic converters. Yeah, that was on the news, and so boy, that was a big haul. Plus money. My goodness, they were well thought out and well planned. That's for sure. So thank you very much for all your help, and the sideshows. Oh boy, eliminating those, that'd be great. So that's terrific. Thank you for your report. Sheriff's report. Lieutenant Julian Quinones is here tonight. Good to see you, sir.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
First and foremost, I want to apologize to everyone. I do not have a report ready for you this evening. I was unable to get all my stats put together. I was gone for 2 weeks and I just came back to work. So my apologies on that. But what I can tell you, this is my last meeting. And there's a lot of changes going on here, just so you guys know. Captain Durer is also retiring, so you're going to be getting a new captain. I just received word that it is going to be Captain Jeff Puente, a very good man. Worked with Jeff over the years. He'll be coming over and taking over. I believe he's going to come right at the bump, right in January. So he'll be ready for the next meeting. You'll be meeting him. I'm not exactly sure who's going to be taking my spot, but next week, Christmas Day is my last day. I am retiring on Christmas Day.
Cool.
If you are out and about on Christmas Day driving around, if I happen to pull you over, that's good. Because if I pull you over, you're getting $100. So I'm pulling 5 people over on Christmas Day to give them a little gift card. So,
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah.
but for Linda, I will get those stats and I'll have somebody email them to you so you can have
Oh,
them.
great.
So you guys can have them. It just takes more than a day to get my dispatch to run all the numbers for me and
Yeah.
get in line. And they do it the fastest for me to be able to provide you the actual numbers.
Great.
Again, there are a lot of changes going on. I did see a lot of emails coming in regarding racers and people up on Sierra.
Sure.
Like always, we try to do the best we can with patrol checks as much as we possibly can. We are dealing with staffing, and that's not your worry, that's our worry. And we're trying to do the best we can with that and still provide the best safety out there for our community. Does anybody have any questions for me regarding the office or what's going on with your area?
Well, Dick Santos to the chair, a safe retirement and the best to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm pulling the plug at 26 and a half years. It's time for me to I'm too old. I'm too old to do this. But, no, we have a lot of young men and women that are taking the reins and moving forward. We've had a lot of promotions over the past 2 weeks while I was gone. So there's going to be a lot of different movement. But I do know for a fact, I just heard today that Captain Jeff Puente will be taking over headquarters patrol. I'm not exactly sure who the watch commanders will be though, as of right now. But we'll definitely get the notice out to you guys so the new watch commander can attend the meetings.
We'd appreciate that
You're
information.
very welcome.
Great. Well, and thanks for coming all the time. We really appreciate it. We enjoyed
thank you
all
for
your
having me.
reports. Yeah,
For having me. I miss the in-person meetings that we used to have.
I know. Yeah, we all
It was
do.
like a lifetime ago. I can't believe it.
I
We've
know
been doing
it.
this for how long now? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I wish you guys all the
best.
best. It's good to see a strong community. Keep doing what you guys are doing. That's how you guys are heard. Stay positive. You guys have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And God bless every one of you guys.
And you too. And enjoy
You
your
too.
retirement. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Take care.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. I don't see Tim anywhere, Roscoe, but Assembly Person Alex Lee, the representative Jariah is here to give a report.
Hi, everyone. Like I said earlier, happy holidays. We've been busy up in the district office as well. We had a lot of events going on. One of them was our Unsung Heroes Award in November 22nd. We honored 36 individuals and organizers in our assembly district for their work to help make the community a better place. So we nominated a bunch of unhoused groups, nurses, frontline workers, and even some students as well. And so we had that event this past November. We also had last week a Seniors Appreciation Week. So the assembly member visited 4 different senior centers in Santa Clara and Fremont. And so he went and visited and met all the seniors, heard their concerns, communicated how we can help them in our office. And then we also sent out a legislative update mailer. So you should be receiving that soon. That it'll just talk about our bills that got passed this past legislative session. And we also sent out a survey mailer. And this survey mailer is essentially about asking all of you, what is your priorities? Like, what are you curious about? What do you want the assembly member to put out for this next legislative session? And if you didn't get the mailer, we also have an online link that you can send here. Let me pull it up one moment. And so you can fill it out. It's due at the end of this month. We actually have a lot of responses already. So we're really excited about that because a lot of people have been mailing it in and a lot of people have been submitting it online. Yeah, and then we also have in 2 days, we have a office hours that's filling up soon. So if you want to meet the assembly member one-on-one, you can register for this event. It's going to be online on Zoom. So if you want to chat with him, talk any issues you may have or anything like that, it'll be on Zoom December 15th in 2 days. It's right here if you want to sign up for Milpitas and San Jose residents. So you all are welcome to sign up if you can. And he is heading back to Sacramento in January. So that's exciting. If you have any legislative ideas, our office is still accepting them. And I believe that is all of our updates for the end of this year.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, we'll look for those flyers or go online and get the flyer. I know I got mine. It's on my desk someplace. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Diane. All right, let's see. Oh, our council person, David Cohen.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you all.
You're kind of quiet.
Oh, let me turn up my microphone. All right, is that better?
Oh, yes.
Oh, is that too loud now? Something in between. Anyway, good evening. Nice to see you all. Every time I bring my computer home, I have to readjust everything. I want to start, first of all, by thanking Captain Trayer and the police department. And he undersold how great that series of arrests were for the catalytic converter theft ring. They found them with 1,500 catalytic converters and other equipment and weapons, and there were businesses involved, and putting a stop to that is really important for our community's public safety and also for peace of mind. And so thank you, Captain Trayer, for your work on that, and also for the whole police department, because we've been waiting for that to resolve, and we hope that this will at least limit the problem, if not eliminate the problem. And we appreciate all your work. Just wanted to thank you all for a great first year in office as council member in District 4. We've had a lot of exciting successes in our district, and hold on a second. And I want to just highlight a few. We are coming to the conclusion of our work to try to redirect funding from the Department of Transportation away from the old Charcot Avenue project, and we're ready to come forward in January for the council to officially end that project and spend that money on other more important transportation projects in North San Jose. We've been doing work on traffic calming. There's going to be some projects coming up early in 2022 on Sierra Road and at the corner of Jackson and Maybury to put in some engineered solutions to make it hard for sideshows and other activity at those locations. So we're excited about that. We completed the project up Suncrest to put the bollards up along there to make it safer for people walking and biking, and to try to slow traffic going up and down Suncrest, which has been a big concern of that community for a long time. As far as parks, we're happy that starting in early 2022, we'll begin construction on the 2 new parks on the north side of the Berryessa Urban Village development near the BART station. Those 2 parks will be built out in the next year, and we're excited about that. And for those of you who have been wondering, I hope that by the end of this year, we'll finally get the permanent striping done at Hostetter and Landess, where the roads were paved. We've been waiting for Caltrans to approve those lines, because they have to approve the lines that are within a block of a highway, and that's why those last sections weren't striped. But I think we're moving ahead, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll get the contractor out there to put in the final touches of that project. Also coming up for parks next year, we have funding in place to spruce up and celebrate the 150th anniversary of Alum Rock Park. So stay tuned. March is the 150th anniversary, and we think probably in April, we're waiting out the rain. So in April, we'll have a big celebration for that park. It's the first municipal park in the state of California. So we're excited to celebrate it. And also, the park department in San Jose does weekly Sunday cleanups around the city, and Cataldi Park is scheduled for a Sunday in January. So if you want to put on some working boots and gloves and come out and help clean up Cataldi Park, we'll let you know when that's scheduled. We don't know the exact date yet. We hosted a great event at Christmas in the Park a couple Fridays ago and had our music program for middle schools perform. It was a great event. Sierra Mont and Piedmont middle schools were there, and it was the first time they've been able to perform in person since before the pandemic. So it was exciting that they were able to get out in front of an audience. And then on Wednesday night this week, we have our pajama giveaway for students in the school district and families in the school district who need pajamas. And we have some generous sponsors who have helped us buy hundreds of pairs of pajamas that we'll be giving out at the school district office between 5:30 and 7 on Wednesday evening. In order to wrap up the year, we'll have our last town hall on Thursday evening at 6 p.m. So if you want to see our recap of the year and ask other questions, feel free to join us. I hope somebody on my staff will paste the link for that into the chat. If not, we'll get it to you sometime during this meeting. And I just want to thank the staff. I have a great staff and we got a lot done this year. And so I want to thank Stacy, Hugo, Lamb, Alexander, Marley, and our interns, Sarah Fu and Vishnu Narath. Sarah's joining us as a full-time staff member starting in January, and Vishnu, we're lucky that he'll be sticking with us at least through the end of the school year. So thanks to everybody for all their help, and thanks to all of you for your support. And happy holidays.
Any questions for our councilman? No?
I should mention one other thing. Tomorrow's council meeting, we will be discussing
Oh, yeah.
SB 9 and opportunity housing. And I'll be voting to suspend any future consideration of opportunity housing while the city, particularly since the city has to spend a lot of resources on making sure we have the proper design standards in place to implement SB 9. In addition, tomorrow and Wednesday, I assume it might go into Wednesday, we'll be finalizing our redistricting for the city, which is quite a major undertaking. I expect hours of discussion tomorrow night, Wednesday morning, to draw our final district lines, and that will hopefully be approved by Wednesday afternoon.
Boy. Good. Thank you. Lots to do. Holy cow. It all has to be done before Christmas. Oh, wow. Okay, thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, Richard Santos, you are up, sir. We've been giving you a lot of water. So
Yes, good evening, Chair and everybody. Richard Santos, your director of the Valley Water. Everybody's busy. Of course, we're all excited when we have rain. That doesn't mean the drought is over, as the normal question will always be asked. And right now you got to keep on looking at the creeks and making sure there's no potential flooding, whatever have you. And we continue cleaning that. In fact, I was at Watson Park here a couple of weeks ago with a lot of volunteers on the city of San Jose easements and cleaning that up. And it was just terrible in there because you actually had people living in vans and trucks and you name it inside the creek. So very difficult time. We'll be having another, we call in-house, would be homeless meeting on the 21st, so we can map out the year 22 and all the sites that we're going to be cleaning up and asking for volunteers and you name it. We have an opening on our environmental committee. So if anybody in Barry S is interested, please give me a call. Love to have you be on that committee, which serves our district. I also, we're looking at redistricting. We had Mike Cross is our designee from the penitentiary homeowners over there, and he's been involved. I believe another couple of weeks they'll be completing that and coming to the board for input and or to be the new district. I guess there's maps 1 and 2. I know Mr. Cohen had a map also at the city of San Jose. So we're all looking at those things. Pacheco continues with the EIR. And I can only say this, so we've had polls and everything, got complete support from the public. There's always some critic, but here's the deal. We always talk about water conservation. You got to have common sense. If you're going to have water conservation, you got to have water first. And the only way you have water first, you have to dam it and store it. So it's pretty simple. That's called common sense. Other than that, we had the Alviso Santa program last Saturday, and that was our 38th year, over 250 families. Second Harvest came over and gave everybody turkeys. We're just thankful for the relationship. We gave out $50 gift certificates and helped folks have a better holiday. So with all the volunteers that came out, we thank everybody and y'all be safe and have happy holidays.
thanks, Dick. That was a great report from Alviso. It's nice to know that the people just being, everybody's so hungry nowadays. It's just so sad. It's amazing. So I know the food banks always have, such great needs. So thanks for that report. I'm glad your get together was really successful. Okay, let me see. Oh, BSU, no, Berryessa District Superintendent, Dr. Fuentes, you're up.
Good
No, you don't
evening,
give me a regular
everyone.
report, right?
Yes.
just-
Okay.
Yes, that's fine. I just have brief announcement, but certainly on food scarcity, I just want to remind everyone that all of our students are eligible for free meals based on the new national food program. So both the Second Chance Breakfast program as well as the lunch program. And there's no application, required. We welcome that information. However, all students are eligible. So definitely want to be sure, if you know of families in need, that you encourage them to participate and know that the meals for their children are there. Also, just wanted to again thank everyone in our community for being actively involved in all of our COVID vaccination clinics. We've just completed on Saturday our 8th clinic for ages 5 to 11. We're really grateful to our partners, which have been Safeway, as well as our local public health department, the County Office of Ed. And this past Saturday, we also had the City of San Jose Library also join us with free books, candy canes, arts and crafts, making the clinic environment very kid friendly so that they are encouraged to come and take care of themselves. I know just over the course of the 8 clinics, which included both first and second doses, we've been able to provide vaccinations to well over 2,000 children in that age group. So really pleased to see our families take advantage of that opportunity, but also want to let our community know that at each of those clinics, adult boosters are also available, as well as flu shots. So, we are looking forward to having additional clinics. We're planning for another in February, and then that second dose opportunity will be in March. But also know that if you're seeking a booster or seeking a flu shot, those are available there as well. And then we'll do another cycle of clinics later on in the spring, once we have more information from the state in terms of what vaccination requirements there will be for the students for the next school year, just to be sure that all of our families have that opportunity. But we're definitely pleased with the participation that we've seen so far. In addition to that, I just want to remind our community here that we also provide COVID testing services available Berryessa-wide. That continues to take place every first and third Thursday at Sierramont Middle School. So the next opportunity will be this Thursday from 1:30 to 4:30. So I know as we head into the holidays, folks are getting ready to travel. I think COVID testing is an ongoing safety mitigation measure. So we continue to have that, and it's a drive-through service. So very quick with our Bay Area Community Health Partner provides that. In addition, if you have children in our school district, we offer on-site weekly COVID testing for our students. And that's just an opt-in service. It's available to all of our staff, as well as to all of the children if their parents provide permission. And so again, we're doing another reminder to our families as you return back from the holiday. If you haven't opted your child into that service, please take advantage, because it is available and it's at their school and it's done during their school time. So very convenient opportunity. And then just so that everyone knows, as the school districts have become often an opportunity for these types of services, know that as we go on to the holiday break in the next 2 weeks, our Berryessa Community Center is going to be a local clinic for our community. And they will also be offering, vaccination opportunities and boosters. They will be at the Berryessa Community Center on December 20th, as well as on December 29th. On the 20th, they'll be there from 10 to 5. And on the 29th from 12 to 7. And I don't believe appointments are necessary. So if you, for yourself or anyone in your family or neighbors, are interested in getting a vaccination closer to home, Berryessa Community Center is a great opportunity over these next 2 weeks. And I know we have more on the agenda this evening, so I'll stop right there, but just wanted to make sure you were aware of the partnerships we have and those services as we're still contending with COVID.
Thank you. I'm so pleased that, it's so available to everybody and the schools are doing a great job. I really appreciate that. I still refer to the school district as my district. They've been there a long time. So, but I appreciate all that's being done. It's just amazing. And all the partnerships that you have in order to get that, to have the kids available and the testing and the shots available to adults and children. So anyway, thank you very much. We'll keep moving along. Vishnu, do you have something to report tonight?
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff going on with Piedmont. So it seems like this month was the month of the music department. Basically, the band department had their first concert or second concert last Friday. That was a blast. And the choir concert had their concert last Wednesday. But the really cool thing was that they got to sing at the Warriors game. Yeah, if you were watching on the TV, you probably didn't get to see it because they run ads during that time.
Yeah.
They got to make that money somehow, right? And
yeah, poor people.
but it was a general blast. All of these events went really well. Outside of that, I'm on my school equity panel. And so right now the school is trying to tackle the issue of representation in AP classroom or in AP classes. As in, so Hispanics make up 25% of the school population, yet in AP classes, they're less than 10% of the students. And so Piedmont wants to find ways to bridge that gap. And I think it's a pretty great effort because they're coming to the students for advice, seeing how as we as students could help Piedmont make it more of a acceptable environment. Beyond that, it's finals week this week, so everyone's cramming. And the first semester ends this Friday. One thing I do want to talk about is how well our school is doing with COVID, or at least avoiding it. On the school web or on the Eastside Union website, you can see how many infections there's been with staff or students. And there obviously have been some infections, but clearly the masks have been working because it's very limited. So it seems like school will be continuing for as far as we can see.
Great. Very good. Good report. When do you have time to study, sir? You got all these things going on. But good for you. That's great. I'm so proud that you're a part of us too, because you give good information and you're not afraid to speak up. And that's what happens if we don't do things and we don't look and we don't talk to each other, then things go unnoticed and things don't get done the way we want them to. So we're very proud of you and thank you so much for continuing on.
I appreciate that, Ms. Locke.
All right. Well, let's see. Ty, do you want to talk very little bit about the statewide initiative that we have?
Okay, there is a statewide initiative that's being sponsored to collect signatures. They'll need approximately 1 million by, I forget the exact date, but it's coming up quickly in 2022. And the initiative would alter SB 9 to assert local control as preeminent over state in the matter of zoning. It would be an opportunity to opt in. Communities could opt in if they chose to, but they would not be forced to participate in SB 9. One of the members of City Council is heading up the effort. And since we are on record opposing SB 9 in total, we have taken it up as an organization to make the signature collection forms available to you. And if you would like them, please email me, tgreaves@sbcglobal.net, and we'll make sure that you get a copy. It has to be an official copy that you can then sign and have it witnessed. and submit that so that they can collect signatures if you believe that that would be appropriate public policy to allow local governance to control zoning for single family units. Any questions?
And with the holidays coming up, if you're going to meet with your family, that you can get an initiative and have them sign it, and you can be one of the sponsors for the initiative. So I hit up my family at my grandson's birthday party. So it's a quick way to get some signatures on the initiative. No questions? Okay.
I'm just curious, T, what is the time period for getting all of the necessary signatures on the initiative?
James, I'm not sure. I didn't commit that date.
It was 90 days, I think.
It's probably early in the 2022 cycle in order to collect the signatures that they need, about 1 million of them statewide.
Yeah.
What I can do, James, is I will send you a follow-up, or I'll post it on our, I'll do that and put it on the chat as we continue the meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right.
Can I just add
Oh,
something?
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure people do the full research on the initiative. I just wanted to give a little bit of input because a couple of weeks ago I was at the board of directors meeting for the League of Cities, and the League of Cities is opposed to SB 9 and would like some initiative to overturn SB 9, but they sent a subcommittee out to spend about 7 hours reviewing the details of this initiative. And unfortunately, the initiative does more than overturn SB 9. If it was simply an anti-SB 9, they would have endorsed it. But the League of Cities board of directors unanimously decided not to endorse it because there were a lot of other things that it does about that overturn state laws regarding, how cities respond to natural disasters, about solar requirements, about how agencies like Valley Water and others can coordinate with cities. This would allow local control to basically allow cities to opt out of any of those requirements from the state. So there's just a little bit of care thinking about what the initiative does beyond the specific goal of overturning SB 9 and its requirements, because there are other things that could happen as a result of this that may not be good for the regional coordination and things that we need to work on collectively. So just wanted to make sure that you look at what you're signing and decide based on the whole, all the elements of the initiative.
Thank you for your input on that, David. Appreciate that. Okay. All righty then. Next is our presentation by the various Union School District regarding the administration building, if it's going to be a new building and where is it going to go. And so Superintendent Dr. Fuentes is here to start, and then Assistant Superintendent Kevin Franklin will join in. So we'll get a good full report on what's happening with that.
Thank you, Linda. So thank you again. I just want to share that last month on November 2nd, our Board of Trustees took action to go ahead and approve the purchase of a new property, which is located over on Ritter Park near the Santa Clara County Office of Education, right across the street. And the reason for that purchase is for many, many years, since actually the mid-2000s, our board has been in discussion as to how to address our current district office and the aging facility. Our facility is original, true and true, from original roof, original HVAC system, et cetera, and hasn't had any modernization over the course of many years other than some minor patchwork. So we really came back to this discussion about 1.5 years ago, I want to say, when we had the Measure U bond approved. Every time you have a bond approved, you go back and you reevaluate and assess your facilities to be able to bring your facilities program up to date. And it led us to a discussion again on our district office and what would the cost be to renovate, to rebuild, to create a suitable working condition for all of the folks that work in that building, and to think about what our options are and to what extent we wanted to utilize Measure U bond funds to help improve that situation. As we went through the next course of year and a half to go ahead and do some research on what those options may be, we also learned that since the last time the board discussed the district office, which was back in 2016, there had been a significant increase in the cost for repair and cost of construction. And so that was some new learnings for us and really took us back to square one to figure out how we could address this district office issue. And so this evening, Kevin Franklin, who you've met before, is our Assistant Superintendent of Business. He and his team led the board through a series of study sessions to go through the financial cost of various options and to discuss what might be the best alternative for us to address the district's aging facility. And in doing so, the board also set various parameters throughout that process in terms of what was important for them as a district for us to keep in mind. And so I just want to share some of those focus points that the board had established for us as we did our analysis. And first and foremost was to ensure that whatever we brought forward as a recommendation was helped our district stay fiscally solvent, and also if as an added benefit, if we could find a way to generate new funds for the district budget. And then also, given that we do have various properties within our district, the board also made clear they did not want to sell any property in order to address this situation. So with those parameters, we went ahead and moved forward to review what our options would be. And that's what Kevin Franklin will share with you and how we reached our final conclusion, which was to purchase this new building and then talk about some of the next steps that will occur after we acquire this building. Kevin, if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen with your presentation.
All right, so can everybody see my presentation on the screen? Okay. So this is a presentation that's gone through a few different iterations. We've presented it for various groups, but this is the last one that we presented. And this just shows a timeline of events that Dr. Fuentes was just describing. So, it's really been since, in the early or to mid to late 2000s that these discussions began regarding the district office from various different issues that have come up with the building. And so this was discussed at a number of board meetings, and then we brought on a consultant to help us assist us through this process, since this is not a process that school district typically goes through to acquire a property or to look for a potential another building. And I think one of the main things that came out of this was not only did we get the parameters from the board as far as goals and what our priorities should be and what we're looking for, but we also put out a request for proposal out into the community to see if there are any ideas out there that maybe we hadn't thought of as far as how we could address our situation. So didn't put out anything specific other than the priorities that were given and what our need was, which was to have a more modernized and more facility that suited our needs better than what we're currently in. So with that, we went through a variety of board meetings and went through all of the different options. We analyzed the different responses to the RFP that we got, which there weren't very many. And one already was off the table because it was an offer to just purchase the district office building, and the group said that they would then help us find another office space in the meanwhile while we were going through the process to surplus and sell the building. So that already wasn't an option. So then it was looking at what other options there were. We were looking at different property exchange or leasing options of the district office with different parameters. So with that, we also started to look at different sites. And within our school district boundaries, there's not a lot of commercial office space available. It's a very residential community. And so the options of, purchasing a building were pretty limited. And so the Ritter Park building being one of those options, it was the size that would suit our needs. And so we started to analyze that particular property to see if that was worth it. And so we analyzed that versus utilizing our bond funds and other funds available to us to renovate our current district office property. And so that's kind of how we arrived at that. There were not a lot of other properties that met the criteria. There were a lot that were either too large or too industrial to meet and suit our needs. A big industrial warehouse doesn't suit our district office purposes. And those are the type of properties that, are typically available within the boundaries of our school district. So that was kind of what we went through, and that was the process. The process was well over a year at various board meetings until the last one that Dr. Fuentes just mentioned, when we decided to move forward with the Ritter Park property. So this is the property that we're talking about. The property, it was on the market for, I believe, $8.3 million. We were able to negotiate down to $8 million. There ended up being another bidder on the property. And that's what the other thing that we found out was, if there is a property that suits our needs or looked like it suited our needs, the market was competitive. There was another property that we liked that we felt would suit our needs. And by the time we actually went to go look at it, somebody had already gone into escrow on the property. So this almost happened with the Ritter Park property. We put in our bid after we toured it a few times, and there was a competitive bidder bidding along with us when we decided to go ahead and move forward with acquiring the property. So when there is something available, we had to be ready to jump on that. And then these are the different options that we had. So the tenant improvements that are mentioned there for the Ritter Park property are to make it so that it's suitable for us as a district office. It's in different stages of renovation in its current form. There was a business leasing the second floor, but nobody leasing the first floor. And so the first floor was in the process of being renovated and the second floor hadn't. So there's different improvements that we will need to make to be able to suit the needs of our district office. And so that's why you see that cost is a little over, or is just under $11 million. However, the options to renovate our current district office as it is are the three options listed below. So options A, B, and C. So option A was renovating the current building and kind of stripping it all the way down to the structure and rebuilding it so that it's more suitable for us. And and it's more modernized, and we're able to utilize the space in a more efficient manner. And so that's 14.9 million. Renovation option B was to stay on the current property. Current district office property is about 3.5 acres, so it's a very large property. And so that was essentially building a new district office building in the current parking lot, and then we would then take down the existing building. So building a brand new building on the current site, and that came in at about 22.7 million. And then option C is what we understand the district was really looking at and looking into 5 or 6 years ago, and that was renovating our maintenance yard and moving the district office down there where the central kitchen next to Piedmont Middle School is. And that option is now estimated at $27 million for that particular option. And so our understanding is that 6 years ago or so, when this was being considered, the cost was around 16 million to do that same exact move. So the costs have gone up considerably in the past 5 or 6 years, and essentially 27 million, is double what the renovation would be in the current location. The minimum upgrade option that that's listed at the bottom is just the minimum amount of work that's needed in our current building So just really doing kind of cosmetic work to the building and not making it more efficient. It would just be renovating our HVAC system, new roof, painting the outside and the inside, upgrading our bathrooms to be ADA compliant, and then new flooring, and then painting the inside as well. And that option is a little over $7.5 million. So when we did that analysis to see that we could purchase and acquire a whole new building that sits on 1 acre is the same as just kind of the minimal amount of upgrades needed for the district office. It just made a lot more sense to look at the purchase of the Ritter Park building versus any of the other options. They'll save the district a few million or millions of dollars when you look at that net funds available on the right side. And so what that net funds available on the right side is that we have flea market funds from the sale of, essentially, it was the sale of the rights to developer fees for the Berryessa flea market site that's being renovated. Those dollars can only be used for our schools, our school sites, for facilities needs, or any district facility needs that we have within our jurisdiction. So those dollars are not $14.5 million that could be used for, staffing or anything else. It's for facilities only. The $4.5 million in bond funds available are Measure U dollars that were approved to be used for the renovation of the district office. So the renovation of the district office was always a project that was included in Measure U and included in the first phase of utilizing the funds. However, there was only a $4.5 million set aside for the renovation. So, no matter which option that the district would choose to move forward with, there were additional dollars that were needed. So then the net funds available on the right was just the combination of both of those dollars, and then, how much would be available in each of those scenarios afterwards. So where you see renovation options B and C, we'd have to find other fund sources to be able to do those options. It just made the most sense to move forward with the Ritter Park option. And with that, we can do, that frees up our dollars to be able to do other projects within the district. We had, I think when we went out for Measure U, we had about $350 million in facilities needs, and we only had $98 million that we went out for in the bond. So, that doesn't even tackle a third of the need of the district. So any savings that we can have that we can allocate to other facilities projects is very much needed. So the next steps are a 60-day feasibility period. We're in the middle of that right now. We're actually coming kind of towards the end. I think we're at about 45 days in. I think 60 days is January 3rd. And so during that feasibility period, it allows us as the district to be able to do all of the inspections and appraisals that we need to do to make sure that that the building is worth moving forward and continuing the purchase. So there was a deposit put down that's fully refundable, and we could back out of the purchase at any time within the 60-day period if something comes up during any of the inspections that might give us caution or might make us think that this is not a good purchase. I can say almost all of those inspections have been done and the building is in excellent condition. There's been a lot of upgrades that have been made, and the facility is in really, really good shape for, being built in the mid 80s. So, we keep referring to it as the new district office in a new building. It's not a new building by any means. It's 40-year-old building almost, but it's in excellent condition. And unlike our current building, it's been through a few different renovations. So it's not an original roof. It's not an original HVAC. Even the elevator is not original. All of that has been replaced and renovated over that 40-year period so far, 35-year period that it's been in existence. Close of escrow is 30 days at the end of the feasibility period. So close of escrow is in early February. And then that's when we'll look into the design of the building and figuring out then how we would see our district office being laid out within that 2-story building. So we'd be going from a very wide open single-story building to a 2-story building. So there's definitely some design that needs to be done. It's a slightly smaller than our current district office. Our current district office is about 24,000 square feet. This one is about 16 and a half. So we'd be downsizing, but within our current district office, we have a lot of space that's not utilized very efficiently. And so we know that we can fit into that space. And then the other option, or the other option that we're thinking of, is leaving our small warehouse and our data center at the current district office location. So still utilizing the facility, and then looking at doing minor renovations to the current district office, and looking into an agency that we can partner with through a facilities use agreement, potentially, to utilize the rest of the facility. And so that's where that additional revenue option comes in. You know, if there's an agreement for another group to come in and utilize the facility through some sort of joint use agreement, then that generates revenue that can be used within our district. And we already have some agencies that are interested in that, and they've been taking a look at the current district office building. So those are all definite positives to come out of the renovation of a building.
Yeah, and just to emphasize a few points that we've been making with our district community is, first and foremost, the new building at Ritter Park is just to emphasize that there aren't any existing district budget funds within our general fund or parcel tax dollars or bond dollars being utilized to acquire that building. To purchase that building, we're using 100% of our available flea market funds. And on that note, just also know, as we mentioned, the Board of Trustees gave us several priorities that they wanted us to focus on. And in using those funds, one of the commitments the board has made is that through any revenue that we generate in the future, that we will pay back those funds into that funding source so that we always maintain that 14.5 million for whenever school expansion may be needed. In addition to that, I think the other piece is, again, what are we doing with the current district office? We're still going to be in that space. Even once we move to the Ritter Park, we are not moving all of our departments to this new district office. We are leaving our technology division at the district office, and we're going to continue to utilize the mini warehouse space that's there because we do need that storage. So that's why we'll be looking at a facility use agreement partner for someone who wants to utilize the remaining space that we're choosing not to use at the time. But our district office will not be surplus because we will still be occupying it.
Okay. Are there any questions?
I have a question about the location. Is this over near Lowe's side of Ritter Park?
Yes, exactly. Right at the corner.
So, but isn't that in the Orchard School District?
It's about 2/3. I think it's less than what is it, Kevin? Less than 2/3 of a mile?
Correct. So our property bound, or our district boundary line is kind of odd shaped over there. So the city golf course that goes all the way up to Oakland Road, right over there by, I think it's Schallenberger, is Berryessa School District. And so it's actually right down that street. And so I want to say it's about 3/4 of a mile just down that street outside of our district boundaries. And that's all been vetted by our legal counsel. We do not have to have our district offices within our boundaries. We definitely had that in mind as we were searching for properties. And this was one that was pretty much the closest that we could find that fit the rest of our criteria.
And I was going to say part of the struggle as well is having limited commercial property in the Berryessa area to select from.
The creek near there has over the years had a tremendous homeless problem, and the encampments there. Is that a concern at all?
No, and actually that was something that was looked into as we did the walkthroughs, and the owner spoke with us extensively to let us know how they'd worked with the city to remedy that issue.
Good questions, Ron. Thanks.
And with the water district that was involved in that too.
Raphael.
Yeah, Lynn, I just had a really quick question because from a financial perspective, the Ritter Park property, you're not leasing it, you're owning the land and the building, correct?
Correct.
And
Correct.
that's at a cost of about 10 million plus about 2.8 million in tenant improvements, about 12.8 million dollars around there.
So 8 million plus 2 million.
8 million plus 2 million. So then when I looked at options 1, 2, and 3, and this is the Berryessa where the school board, where the district office is now, there's not a lien on that property, correct?
No.
Okay, so you don't have a lien. So look at options 1, 2, and 3, 14, 22, and 27 million. That's would be the cost for 27 million to move that building or to build a new building in the parking lot and put the other building as a future parking lot. I'm just trying to comprehend the cost of $27 million. And then what was the bidding process? How did you guys vet that cost out? Was it through multiple bids? Because being in real estate, you sort of get an idea of where, costs are. 27 million seems like a very excessive amount of money to put a new building down when you own the property compared to 10 million of new property where you already own the property. That's just,
yeah. So
what's the understanding behind that?
27 million is to move down to our MOT yard. And so with that, there's current buildings there that would have to be knocked down, mechanic shop that has to be moved, warehouse that has to be moved. So the $27 million option is actually not on the current property, but down the street next to Piedmont Middle. 22 is to build on the existing property from scratch. It also includes all of the cost where, for temporary housing, things like that. So nothing was bid because it's not a project that was currently in the works, but it was based off of our bond director's assessment on how much labor and materials cost to do the different projects, just based on everything that's building. So for instance, we have just to give kind of perspective on how much things cost for us as a government entity, we're building a gym. A new gym is going to be built at Piedmont Middle School, and that cost is around $8 million just for the gym.
And just so I understand, is it multiple bids? Is it one bid? I'm just curious to see where $22 million to build a building just seems a really excessive amount and stuff. But if a bid wasn't given, then you guys were given basically an estimate of what that cost is going to be. How accurate is that real cost? I mean, I just from a real estate perspective, it just seems very, very, or from a general contractor building perspective, it just seems really on the excessive side. Just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Ty, I see your hand is raised.
Yes. A couple of quick questions. Kevin, could you put your slide up, the one that Raphael was referring to, and share it again, referencing options A, B, C, et cetera?
Sure.
Thank you. So did I understand your comment correctly that the column labeled bond funds available represents monies that were part of a bond approved by the voters that included $4.5 million to renovate the existing headquarters or the existing office space? So what it sounds like you're doing is you're going to keep the existing office space, almost double your size, and have this other facility. So how do you square using the $4.5 million bond funds available when you're going to buy a new facility along road number 1? I'm puzzled by that. I guess, are you going to put the $4.5 million in to allow you to utilize the existing building for this data center and storage area?
Yeah, so we're using the bond funds to purchase the property. That wasn't the intent of Measure U and the intent of the funds in Measure U. However, we will need to still renovate the current district office to an extent to be able to have a facilities use agreement. The roof currently today, as we speak, is leaking with all of the rain. So that's something that, has to be addressed. So it's not for any of the property purchase. It's for that type of project. And so just to let everybody know, in the facilities use agreement that we would look at doing with anybody, it would be also for the maintenance and whatever upgrades that would need to be made. That would all be built into the agreement.
Well, also, I think, Ty, the other thing that Kevin didn't mention is we no longer need the entire 4.5 million to go towards district office renovation. Actually, it'd be less than half. So it'll allow that remaining half for the board to reprioritize to put those dollars back into our school projects.
Correct.
So basically, as I understand what you're doing is you're saying you're uncomfortable spending $8 million, which is the minimum upgrade option, new roof, new HVAC in a building that's larger than the one that you're going to go buy. So you're going to add this Ritter Park facility to your inventory of real estate holdings, keep the one that you've got, try to get somebody to come in and utilize the space that you're going to be moving out of for money, that you've got quote interested parties. Okay.
Correct. Correct. And that was one of the interest of the board, was to find a revenue generating option as well, because we currently don't have that within our district budget, our general fund budget. And certainly with student enrollment significantly declining, that is a big need for us as we continue to do our best to maintain our solvency and address.
Which kind of works against your other comment that you're going to put that money back in case we need new schools, in case enrollment increases.
That's not foreseen in our near future, unfortunately.
It's an expensive proposal, expensive to deploy. You're buying a facility that's not big enough for you. So you're gonna have to keep the facility you've got and upgrade it. I got that you're confronted by the fact that there's not a whole bunch of commercial real estate to pick and choose from within shouting distance of where you're currently located. I would have opted for the bottom line, but that's just me. All right, I'm done.
Thank you for your input. Ty and Raphael both. Thank you very much. Okay. Any more questions, statements, feelings? Because our special guests are here from the San Jose Fire Department. So we'd like to give them a chance to talk. And I've called you special guests because we don't see you very often. We haven't seen you for a while, actually, and we've been neglecting you. So we wanted to make you available to our community.
All right. Hey, everybody. We're really excited to be here because we're usually out in the public giving public service speeches and presentations to kids and groups such as yourselves. And we're finally able to do it here on Zoom. So excited to rather be in person, but like to be here on Zoom if we can't do that. So my name is Mark Haynes. I'm a paramedic firefighter with the city of San Jose. It's Station 19. And this is John Walsh. He's an engineer at Station 19. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Station 19, as you all probably know, is located on the corner of Sierra and Piedmont. So we're going to give a quick presentation here, a slideshow, just a fire safety slideshow presentation. And then we'll hold questions at the end. Of course, you're welcome to put it in the chat and we could answer them at the end. So I'm going to share the screen here and let me know if it's sharing. This one right here.
There we go.
Everybody see it?
Yes.
Very good. All right. So the mission of San Jose Fire Department, its core mission is to serve the community by protecting life, property, and the environment through prevention and response. Our sharing is working, but it's not going through the slides. So let me figure this out. Sorry. There we go.
There we go.
There, it popped up. There's a little delay on our end. So first subject's kitchen and cooking safety. According to the National Fire Protection Association, cooking is the #1 cause of home fires.
Wow.
So the basics of this is just do not leave your stove unattended while cooking. Turn pot handles inward. Keep your cooking area clear. Wear short, close-fitting or cuff sleeves. And then use a splatter guard when frying to prevent burn injuries. A good little tip is if you're interrupted while cooking, make sure you bring something that you may be cooking with, such as a spoon, just to remind you that you have something on there. I would kind of one up that and say, don't even leave it unattended for a minute. Make sure you turn everything off before you leave the area. We go to a lot of these fires of unattended cooking, and people just forget about it when they're busy doing something, distracted nowadays. So try not to ever leave anything unattended. Stovetop fire. So it's a good suggestion to slide a lid or cookie sheet over the pan and turn off the heat. The big thing I would say is if you're ever in danger, if you're not sure how to do it, just leave the area, call 911. The worst thing that could happen is that somebody's injured from a burn or is burned. That's really worse than any property damage that we could deal with. So keep yourself safe first. One thing I would say if you do this is to practice doing it. Practice having that lid handy, have a cookie sheet handy to be able to slide it over, not placing it directly on top, but actually sliding it from the side so you're not injured. But if you're not able to control the fire and contain it just to the stove, to go ahead and immediately call 911. And when in doubt, of course, we're more than happy to come out. Even if you totally have it contained, it's out, we can still help evacuate the smoke from your structure, your kitchen. So oven fire, close the oven door and turn off the heat. Never use water to put out a grease fire. Do not attempt to carry the pan to the sink. I can kind of speak personally on this. I've been to several calls where people actually get burnt. They do what they're used to doing. They pick up a hot pan, carry it to the sink. Your muscle memory tells you to carry a dirty or something that went wrong in the kitchen to the sink to clean it up. And when you're in a bad, high pressure situation, just kind of do what you've done before and carry it to the sink. So in the cases of calls I've been on before and treated people for burns, this was exactly what happened. They couldn't answer why they did it, just that they've done it before. So when the pan wasn't on fire. Anyway, so if the fire spreads beyond the stove or oven, exit and call immediately, of course. Heating and electrical safety. Do not overload electrical outlets. Purchase and use Underwriter Laboratory listed power strips. So make sure that you see a UL label on it. Inspect electrical cords for damage. Cords should never be frayed, cracked, pinned to the wall, or placed under rugs. I would also add to this is that you shouldn't use extension cords for anything permanent. Extension cords should pretty much be a temporary use thing. Remove lint from clothes dryers after each use and clean exhaust duct annually. Kitchen and bathroom outlets are within 6 feet of running water, should have a ground fault interrupter outlet, GFCI. There's a picture to the right. So you guys, everybody pretty much probably recognizes this. We have a little reset button on it. And this is just another safety mechanism. If there's a short, if you get shocked, it'll basically trip that instead of having to go all the way back to the circuit breaker and trip. Space heaters, heating and electrical safety. Space heaters, keep space heaters at least 3 feet away from anything that can burn. Make sure your heater has an auto shut off in case it tips over. Always plug space heaters directly into the wall, never use an extension cord. And if there are young children in the home, install tamper resistant outlets or outlet safety covers. And then smoke alarms. Most fatal fires occur at night when people are sleeping. Chances of surviving a fire increase 50% with a working smoke alarm in the home. Install smoke alarms in each bedroom, outside of every sleeping area, and on every level of the home. Ceiling mounted units should be at least 3 feet from the corner and 6 inches away from the wall for best coverage. And avoid installing smoke alarms near the kitchen, bathroom, or vents, because they'll just go off all the time and then you'll get complacent about hearing it. And we see a lot of that where they're just disabled because they've gone off so often. And life expectancy. Oh yeah, I think it goes in the next slide here. Test smoke alarms every month for hard to reach areas. You can use a broom handle, units with removable batteries. Replace once a year. I kind of one up that and say every daylight savings, you know, when we turn the clock backwards, forwards, go ahead and replace the batteries. There's oftentimes smoke detectors nowadays have the 10-year newer units with a sealed lithium batteries. They usually have an expiration date, and they typically do last the 10 years from not necessarily from when you bought it from the expiration date. And we go on a lot of this where it's just a signal low battery chirp and they think their alarms are going, people think their alarms are going off, but if you hear that chirp, just one chirp every once in a while, that's just a battery replacement. So I'm going to hand it from here over to John. And,
Hi everyone, as I take over here for Mark, we changed from our smoke detectors talking about carbon monoxide detectors, and I think the point that we need to make too about the smoke detectors as well as carbon monoxide is the importance of changing that once a year, changing the batteries at least once a year, but also being aware of the chirps that we hear, and an ongoing and active smoke alarm or carbon monoxide detector will continue to go off. It won't be a chirp every 30 seconds, every 60 seconds. It will continually go off. It'll be annoyance, and people are well aware of what that is. But something we'd like to promote is the idea that when we do hear, or if someone hears that chirp every 60 seconds or so, that is an indication of a dead battery, or as Mark mentioned, every 10 years, those detectors go bad. And it's important to replace those smoke detectors. If it has a dead battery or it's past its expiration, it really doesn't do any good. So we really want to encourage people to replace that whenever they do hear. Those shouldn't make any noise. If they do, something's wrong. So carbon monoxide, known as the silent killer, a toxic gas. It's invisible, odorless, tasteless. We consider 430 deaths are caused by carbon monoxide poisoning each year in the United States. Approximately 50,000 of those people go to the emergency room department each year, or there are approximately 50,000 that go with carbon monoxide poisoning. These alarms are designed to activate before potentially life-threatening levels of carbon monoxide are reached. So if you have a working carbon monoxide in your home, we recommend that they're outside of sleeping areas on each floor of your home. And again, responding to that, if it goes off, it's at a level that's below harmful or life-threatening. So we want to, again, just encourage people to not only have those in their home, but to respond if we hear them making any noise. Signs and symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning, it can mimic flu-like symptoms. It may include headache, confusion, nausea, vomiting, shortness of breath, fatigue, dizziness, maybe a fast heart rate. Obviously, if you experience any of these symptoms, whether or not it's, for sure carbon monoxide poisoning, if it's suspected, leave your home. We want to encourage people to get out into the fresh air, open doors and windows, but by far exit your home. Don't try to figure out the cause. Call 911, we'll notify PG&E and we'll show up, and with the assistance of PG&E, we'll try to figure out whether or not that's what it is and what we can do to mitigate that. As I mentioned, recommendations: install those carbon monoxide alarms outside of sleeping areas and hallways, but also on each floor of your home, at least 15 feet away from any kind of fuel burning appliance. As I said, check batteries once a year, hopefully in conjunction with your smoke alarm. We kind of try to keep people into the idea of around Christmas time. It's a great time. You pull your Christmas decorations out. It's a good time to change all the batteries in your smoke alarms as well as in your carbon monoxide detectors. Not to wait until you hear a chirp, but every year we know batteries go bad, and so we should go out of our way to change them once a year. There are newer units now with sealed lithium batteries. They should last 10 years. There's some that plug into the wall with a battery backup. All those will work. We recommend whatever will work, whatever is maybe people can afford or can find available. We have lists up there for PG&E. Schedule an appointment. They can come out and check appliances. If we have a concern of whether or not you have a carbon monoxide problem or there's a problem with your appliance, PG&E is happy to come out. They have the adequate detectors that can determine whether or not there's a gas leak or there's a carbon monoxide leak. The fire department, we don't always have the the proper equipment to do those checks, PG&E is much better at actually giving a definitive answer whether or not there's a problem. Excuse me, we talk about fire escape planning and home emergency planning. We encourage every home, every family to have an idea of an escape plan and to practice it with all your household members at least twice a year. And these are basic things just to include 2 exits out of every room, including doors and/or windows in case of an emergency, in case, as Mark mentioned, a fire that would develop on the stove, that we have more than one way to exit the kitchen. If someone would find themselves in the bathroom and would have to close the door to the bathroom because there was a fire, that we'd find another way out using a window. Stairs and doors, all these things are available. We just want to encourage people to be aware of other ways to get out of their home. Along with that is to designate a meeting place outside, whether it be a tree in front of your house or your mailbox or a neighbor's home, just so everyone's on the same page in your family and will have an idea of where they can go, where they can meet up, and we can have accountability. You as a family can have accountability, but in the event that public safety would respond, we can also ask you, and you'll know right away whether or not you have accountability for everyone in your family. Multi-story homes, recommendation is to purchase an escape ladder to find another way to get out of your home. We don't recommend that people jump off their roof, or especially if they're dealing with a second story, but there are ladders that are available that can be rolled up and quickly deployed. Important that we mentioned that you would practice with those, and you would encourage children to practice with those once or twice a year if that's something that's in your emergency plan. Have an idea of where they're going to be located and how they're easily deployed and how people can use them. We definitely want to encourage people, though, in the event of a fire especially, to stay in the room that they're in. We don't want people leaving the room. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We have it on our slide here, remember to crawl low under smoke, but we really want people to stay away from smoke. We don't want people to try to crawl through smoke like that. This next slide just mentions that. In the event that you're in a home, in any building that there is a fire, you see fire in a hallway, you smell smoke, we really want to close the door between you and the fire and keep that door closed. And if we can seal any door cracks, which mean put a towel or something underneath the door to prevent the movement of air and that smoke coming inside the room, that'll give somebody more time to breathe safe air inside a room. Open up a window, try to provide fresh air, excuse me, and call 911 as soon as we can. And make it where you are and how many people are with you. We can signal for help through a window, waving a flashlight, waving cloth, whatever we can do out a window to, again, make it known that there's an emergency and that you are inside that structure. We talk a little bit about disaster preparedness here. Really what we're keying into is the idea of the city wants to promote community resilience. And we want to have a community here where our community, all members of the community are well aware not only of reducing the risks of or recognizing danger, but also becoming more involved and recognizing that we all play a role when it comes to community resilience. We're asking everyone to think ahead towards an emergency and have an emergency supply kit. Excuse me, and have that really prepared before a disaster strikes. Some of the things we talk about, if you wear eyeglasses, for example, very important that you have eyeglasses or reading glasses, whatever it may be, and you have an extra pair in a place where it would be your emergency location. We're in bag, including flashlights, water, spare keys, a first aid kit, any important documents that you may need. In the event of something like an earthquake, there might not be a lot of time to gather belongings you haven't thought about. We're trying to encourage people to really have one place that they can go, everything's available, and they'll be able to exit their home, or they'll be able to at least stay together in their home for a short period of time where they have everything they need. We all play a role, excuse me. We encourage you and your family really to have a kit, an emergency response kit, to make a plan and to be prepared. Excuse me as I lose my voice here, to stay informed and to get certified, where it's a partnership really with the people in the community, in a partnership with the community services provided with law enforcement and the fire department, as well as our county services, and the county services are provided, as well as national assistance. All those together come up and really make us a resilient community. And that's really what we're trying to promote. Once evacuated, again, call 911. If you don't have a phone or your phone is inside, to use a neighbor's phone. Stay outside, please. Don't ever re-enter a burning building. That's known to cause a significant amount of fatalities. People go back in to rescue a pet or a family member. Really stay outside, never re-enter. And always maintain a safe distance between you and the fire. Wait for the emergency responders to arrive. We encourage everyone, San Jose Fire Department.org is a website, but also the City of San Jose website. We can look in for residents, and there's a lot of information for residents when it comes to disaster preparedness, as well as maybe if you have an interest in delivering emergency preparedness information yourself. We do have a community emergency response team, a CERT team, and they're active in helping members of the community prepare for emergencies. And so again, all these things we're trying to do just to get the word out, everything we can do to improve safety and improve preparedness is our goal. That's the end of our presentation. We're happy to take a couple questions.
Questions? I can't see everybody right now.
Sure there. How about that?
There we go. Does anybody have any questions? She was a great reminder of things, you know, sometimes I forget. And we made an extension on our house on the bottom floor so that we don't always go upstairs, but we keep all the alarms up there, you know, the smoke alarms and stuff. But so I really have to pay attention to making sure I change the batteries or whatever and check them out. So we appreciate your giving us all those reminders. Some of us we've known for a long time, and some of us we've just known but haven't done much about it. So I think it's important for us to be reminded. Ty, you have a question or a statement?
Not a question, but a comment. Great presentation. Information rich, appropriate, spot on. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Susan Fowle made the contact with your department, the Station 19. So wanted to give her credit for getting that done. You are our neighbors. She on her regular phone message, she talked about the I don't know what you call it, a statue, the thing that's outside your station there where you can turn. I go by there all the time, and I always want to get out and twist everything around and see what I can come up with. But it's been a great thing. I hope the kids start using that again, you know, so it's fun to see. Any other statements, comments? We really appreciate your being here tonight, and we'll do a better job of keeping in touch with you, and we appreciate your coming. Hopefully we'll
appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. We're here for you.
Thank
Great.
you.
Someday we'll get back into the community center where we usually meet. So I have high hopes.
Here's open. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to make a couple announcements, and then we have a little bit of musical entertainment for you. So the next general meeting is January 10th, 2022. Oh my goodness. And then we will have a board meeting next week, next Monday, and hopefully we'll keep it kind of short because it's so close to Christmas, but there's some things we need to talk about and plan for the January meeting. So for our musical entertainment, we have Sierra Mont Middle School performing, and Dr. Fuentes is going to help us with that.
Yes, thank you. Our students always enjoy a time to be able to present. I do have two different video presentations. I'm only going to show snippets of each one because they're rather lengthy, well over an hour of performances. But our kids are talented and they're great, and I know you'll enjoy it. So let me share my screen. And first, we're going to begin with our choir. And I'm just going to play the first song from Sierra Mont Middle School Choir. The choir teacher is amazing. And we'll go ahead. It's Emmeline Montoya and her partner. And let's get started with that.
Oh.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. dancing and caroling out in the snow. Here's the glories of Celtic glory, glories of song. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yay.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since there's no place to go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's slowly dying, and my dear is still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight around me tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Here to stay is a new birth. Sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. Little snowman, and pretend that he is Parson Brown. We'll say, are you Jerry? We'll say, no, man. But you can do the job when you're in town. Frolic and play the old-fashioned way, walking in a winter wonderland. Let it snow, let it snow.
So we'll stop with that one. And that is our cadet group. And I'm sure you noticed that the change in voices, sixth grade. Sixth grade. So, appreciate their confidence, and they sound amazing when they get to advanced choir. So now I'm going to switch over to our band, and the first two songs are going to also be their cadets. So they're new middle schoolers just transitioning. And then I want to end with our advanced choir, because I think it really gives you that opportunity to see the growth that the children have from their first year in middle school to their final. These are all the different levels of band that we offer in the school district.
Oh, good. We get to see their faces. Some of them. Oh. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, jolly.
And so now let me move it over to an advanced, but just keep in mind that these sixth graders have had a year and a half of music exposure in fourth and fifth grade in remote learning. And then, came into the middle school in person for their for their instruction now and selection of their instruments of choice. So now I'm just going to advance this to share with you a piece from our advanced band, and that's what we will close with.
Woo, look at all that. Gosh,
Pretty good.
isn't that wonderful? Oh my gosh, it just touches my heart. It just, we've always had a wonderful program in various schools. It's just amazing. We were so lucky that we have, the community has always supported the school's music program. So it's really nice for all three of the middle schools gone well, and then the elementaries. The music teachers are just outstanding. They have
Yeah,
so
they're
much to do.
definitely
Yes.
they're
Yeah.
yes, definitely they're phenomenal. And you see
Yeah.
the wonderful skill set that the children acquire over that course in time. And especially as I mentioned, the fact that they were doing remote instruction for a year and a half, you know, pretty good. They got very, very creative on how to help the students continue to improve upon, you know, their singing and their playing. So really proud of them.
It was wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that. I told you this would be the nice send off for Christmas season and the holidays, and it leaves you with a smile on your face to see these wonderful children performing so well. So thank you all for coming tonight. And I think we got a lot of information about a lot of different things. So have a great weekend, and we'll see the executive board on Monday, and we'll try to keep it quick business meeting. And the rest of you have a happy holiday for the next couple weeks. And pray for my husband to get better, because he's still stuck in the hospital and they don't know what's wrong. So I don't know where we'll be, but I've been in the hospital every day. So anyway, think about him if you have a chance. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Hi,
you.
everyone.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Kenson.